Hello dear Vanya. Let's discuss today, Vanya, about the Formel Q documentation. Because previously, in the previous episode with Pedro, we discussed about the general idea how to work with Volkswagen in automotive industry. That we have, of course, the quality management system requirements from IATF 16949 and customer-specific requirements. But it's not only. We have also Formel Q. And today, I would like to discuss with you a structure of Formel Q. If you could tell us something more about this.
Okay, so about the Formel Q manuals, and this presentation gives us the overall vision about which are the manuals that belongs to the Formel Q family, which we have the Volkswagen Group requirements, not only about the customer specific requirements that we can find, but which are the manuals. We can see in the top the Formel Q concrete that we have, like I can say, the big picture about the requirements for the quotation phase, for project phase, and even for serial production phase. We can see all the requirements. Some of them appears, for example, in customer specific requirements that appears in the IATF portal. Nevertheless, even when we read the customer-specific requirements in the IATF portal, we need to go to the Formel Q manuals. Like, for example, in some cases like PSCR, we need to see, for example, what is written about it in Formel Q concrete. But we have more manuals. We have new parts integral. This is related for the project phase, which we have the requirements related maturity level assurance, PPA procedure. Okay, that for supplies, it's very important to understand which are the requirements for these topics. And then we have the Formel Q capability, when you can find requirements for the self audits, for the process audit or product audits, but capability also have appendix, when we can find the additional requirements of Formel Q or Volkswagen Group for the VDA 6.3 for the question for P5 to P7. And then we have the last one, the Formel Q capability software for those organizations that development or integrate a software in their own product. But we can see in the bottom, this base of all these manuals is for a supply evaluation, is to evaluate the supplier, but also to guarantee that supplier would fulfill with all of those requirements and others that are mentioned here, that, for example, IATF or TISAX or other brand standards that appears also mentioned in Formel Q. But it's also, again, about how the supply can be evaluated, which will be the requirements that the quality management system needs to fulfill, okay, for the different process or different steps in the product life cycle. But it's very important for an organization knows about these manuals. But this just, I would say, the beginning of, because these manuals are related between them, but also they refer several times that we go to more in detail for the brand specific standards or technical standards also.
Yes, brand specific standards. I think this standard is a little bit underappreciated, but there are also a bunch of requirements specific for each brand, like 12 brands in the Volkswagen Group. I think so.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. Of course, this is again, we need to emphasize that probably working with Formel Q is not also everything, because Formel Q and other supporting Formel Q documents are following us to other VDA standards manuals. Yes. And of course, this is another source of the requirements which we have to unfortunately follow. And what's more, we need to follow them in the latest revision. Yes, isn't it?
Yes. And we have it. We have here, for example, maturity level assurance in the last revision, VDA2, for example, VDA 6.3, 6.5, field failure analysis also for warranty cases, for example, about, for example, FMEA also. So we can find here several times that the customers, that the Formel Q requirements are mentioned also VDA standards. Yes, Or they say that the methodology that they use is based on a VDA standard. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So it's pretty a lot. Okay. Thank you, Vanya, for this explanation. Of course, we will not discuss everything in detail here, what is inside, because this is not visible, I would say. However, it's really good to remember what is the structure, and all of these documents are creating the whole package of the requirements. Thank you, Vanya.
Exactly. Thank you, Agatha.